The New York Times releasing never-before-seen surveillance video from the Mandalay Bay Hotel. It captures the Las Vegas killer preparing to carry out that massacre in the days leading up to it. So in the video, you see hotel workers unwittingly helping Stephen Paddock move more than 20 bags into his room over a 7-day period. In those bags, the arsenal of weapons he would later use to carry out that massacre.
This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth with breaking news today, as footage has just been released allegedly showing Stephen Paddock, the Las Vegas shooter, carrying multiple bags into his room over the course of a 7-day period. It has been nearly 6 months since this shooting, with absolutely zero mention of a motive, as countless people have tried to obtain this footage through multiple Freedom of Information Act requests that fell on deaf ears. Until now, that is, as the New York Times somehow obtained this footage and released it this morning. The footage shows the alleged shooter Stephen Paddock making his way through the Mandalay Bay Hotel as he casually plays video poker. He purchases snacks from time to time, and he's seen chilling at a restaurant watching TV and casually interacting with the staff who knew him as a regular. On Monday, September 25th, just before 5 p.m., he drives up to the valet parking and loads up a luggage cart with 5 suitcases as a bellboy brings the cart for him to a service elevator and eventually to his room. 4 hours later, he leaves his room, bringing 2 suitcases with him, as he makes the hour-long drive back to his house in Mesquite, where he stayed the night and most of the following Tuesday. At 8 p.m. on Thursday, he returns to Las Vegas, making a stop at the Ogden, a condominium complex where he had also rented rooms for that entire week. A music festival called the Life is Beautiful Festival was taking place within the vicinity, and internet records obtained by the police allegedly show that he researched who the musical lineup was and how many people would be attending. That same evening, he returns to the Mandalay Bay Hotel, this time bringing 7 more suitcases, carried by a bellboy once again to the service elevator area, and eventually to his room. Then he spent the night gambling as he casually interacts with the staff who knew him as a regular. The following Wednesday, he leaves the hotel again with 2 suitcases, making a quick stop at the Ogden before heading to his house once again in Mesquite. The next day, he purchases a .308 bolt-action rifle from a gun store, then makes a stop at a local gun range before heading back again to the Mandalay Bay Hotel, where he once again has a bellboy load 5 large containers and 3 more suitcases up to his room, utilizing the service elevator, and then he spends the evening once again casually gambling at the casino. The following day, he checks into the adjacent room using his girlfriend's name, and he instructs the staff to leave behind 2 dinner carts, which he allegedly used for running surveillance with hidden cameras. That night, he makes yet another trip to Mesquite, returning shortly after with 2 more suitcases, followed by another evening of gambling, before making his final trip to Mesquite and then returning to the hotel at 3 a.m. Sunday morning, the day of the shooting, where he spent the night gambling at the high roller slots just before returning to his room at 7:37 a.m. Just after noon, he heads back down to his vehicle to grab 2 more suitcases and a smaller bag, making a total now of 21 bags that he has brought in since the previous Monday. That night, he locks the padlocks on the rooms, and shortly after, what has become arguably the worst mass shooting in U.S. history took place, killing 58 people and injuring over 700. The number of guns found in his room totaled 23, and despite this footage being released today, there is still zero mention of a motive, which really just leaves more questions about what actually took place on that evening. Why is there no footage of Paddock for approximately 10 hours before the shooting? It's reported that during this time, his room was unlocked and locked multiple times, so what was going on during those hours? Did he have visitors? Was he alone? Was he dead already? At this point, we may never know. And why are we not seeing any footage of Jesus Campos, the security guard who was allegedly shot right before the rampage took place? And considering the police records that they say they have of his phone calls, his internet activity, and virtually his every movement, why is there still no mention of a motive whatsoever? Last year, the morning after the shooting, I released a video titled can we have a rational conversation about the Las Vegas shooting where I challenged the official narrative that was already being dished out by the MSM, as well as this video titled Las Vegas Shooting and the Role of the FBI. If you missed those, be sure to check the links in the description to get the full backstory on the events of that horrific day. So while the release of this footage is a step in the right direction, we must remain skeptical of the official narrative because all too often than not, the government has their dirty hands all over these types of events, and I'm certainly not going to rule that out because of the release of this footage, and neither should you. Let me know your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the release of this footage today. Is this a step in the right direction, or is this just adding fuel to the fire in an attempt to reiterate this gun control debate that's currently occupying the headlines? Be sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube if you haven't already, and please share this video if you found the information to be useful, and don't forget to check the links in the description to see my previous videos on this subject, and also to find out how you can support our efforts by either donating at pressfortruth.ca/donate or by becoming a PFT member or a PFT patron. This channel is only made possible through your continued support. So thanks for watching, my friends, and stay tuned. We've got more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth.